About to turn up. Swaggy. About to bust out this dope, but first, I gotta go downstairs and get me some of that lavish Mayne purple drink. Oh yeah, turn up. Yeah, let me grab my keys and then I'm about to turn up. What do you do, neighborhood? There you go.
Yeah. Wait a minute, we out of sauce.
Yeah.
Man, this ain't no sauce.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Oh, well, you dusty bastard. Our sauce is made with the best ingredients this side of the Mississippi. If you're gonna give me something, it's gotta be the sauce.
This made in New York City?
If you ain't got the
sauce,
that's your loss. Here's the sauce made with the best you ever seen in your life. If you ain't got the sauce, then motherfucker, that's your loss.
Move! Get out of the way! Gotta get down here and tell these boys about the main authority. They act like they don't know about nothing. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you gotta see the boys out. You gotta see the laughers. You gotta see them on the main authority. But you don't know about the main authority. Watch out. Move out the way. Yeah, you boys right here. Y'all know about the main authority whip skills. Skirt. Watch out. You know what? When I know about the main authority, see your car? Your car. Your car. No. Why don't you pull up right here? You don't know about the main authority? They got all this great content right up in here. Yeah, right, pay attention. Watch what I'm saying, boy. You know what I'm saying? Try to tell you. Gotta put you on game. Gotta put you all up with that sauce. And what the hell? Yo, look at that. All you people right here about to learn today about the main authority. They all up in here. You know what I'm saying? The boys, they're quite the humanitarians. I revere myself, but still, at the same time, what you gonna do? You ain't know what it is, what it was, what it does. You gotta get the purple drink, you gotta get the sauce, you gotta get your life together with the commercials. You know what I'm saying, boy? Check out the content. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Subscribe.
Nothing unites family like a good bottle of sauce to go with your great summer barbecue.
Who made the potato salad?
Al's Sauce has been known to bring people of all colors and creeds together in the spirit of barbecue.
Never. Shut up, motherfucker.
Bring it over for a good time, whether you're black, white, it doesn't matter.
Hey, that chicken ain't done, man.
Done to me.
If you ain't got the sauce, then that's your loss.
Oh, man. I'm an old mother.
March! Left, 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 left. Buses loose!
Bang Patrol! Don't you know
That's the sound of the mains working on the chain. JS.
Don't you know
That's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Did you hear me say? Turn up. Get crunk.
That's the sound of the mains working on the chain. JS. That's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Did you hear me say? Turn up. Get crunk.
That's the sound of the mains working on the chain. JS. That's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Did you hear me say?
Keep it right there, Jeff.
Turn up.
Sweet! Six coming!
Thursday, my.
Get off my book, boy.
Working so hard, see my woman.
With a
Who I
sauce.
love so didn't mean wow. Got to stay right here.
Main
Give me
gang.
Oh, Lord! Oh, don't you know that's the sound?
Greetings, humans. Once again it is I, Optimal Pride. As before, we are here to tell you that we support the main authority. As that still stands, we've celebrated with our friends. Past spliffs between others. We are looked up to by our peers, and even I give my right arm for the main authority. Flying high Amalo. Always hitting you with the sauce and the flow. Look out, YouTube. We are here. We are the authority.
Remember, Mains, go get that bag. Autobots, let's roll up.
Oh, it feels good to get out of here. Time to change in this bitch. Oh, where's my rag? Oh, yeah.
What in the hobgoblin dasher is? Let's get the hell up out of here.
Oh, damn it. Pull my tool out in case somebody hating and try to jack me. The y'all looking at? Respect my damn gangsta.
Yeah, whatever, man. You tripping.
Oh, this damn Gucci rag's too hot.
Welcome back. We out here getting jiggy with it.
Back to the projects. Shut up and get over here. Let me sprinkle this Reggie dust on you. Help you grow. What the is he want?
Ouch! Yo, Decepticon! The Maynes have a new video out, and it's got 100 subs!
Oh, shut the f up, motherfucker. I asked you to downvote the video. Don't just tell me that they've got a new video out.
My bad.
Hey, yo, Soundman reporting, cuz. This bird from Compton got news for you, Lord Decepticon.
What the hell do you got to tell me today?
Hey, yo, the facts is just like this here, player. They're on their way to getting 1,000 subs, cuz. What we gonna do?
Ain't this a bitch? How many times am I gonna tell you? We've got to stop their viewers. How many more subs are you gonna let these Maynes get? Maynes, we're coming for you.
Oh, yeah, your
Hey,
boy
man,
got
y'all
fresh,
sure y'all
about
don't
to
want
turn
to
up.
run first, man?
Swaggy. Forever, ever.
We coming for you.
I am a god.
What's wrong with you, man?
I will find him!
The Force will be with you, always.
On my chest. My bloody chest.
Forever, forever, ever.
Come on, man.
What it do, Mains?
I will find him!
You know what it is. We have arrived.
So let's hit it with the sauce.
Cause if you ain't got that sauce, then that's your loss. It's
Son.
your boy, Freddie Roy, with the homie Lavis B. And together we be the Mayne authority. Your one-stop shop for whatever in the hell we feel like talking about from week to week. Lavis, what it do, man? What's
What it
good?
is, homie? Hey, life. Life is what's
Man.
good.
I'm telling you. Hell of an afternoon, man.
Hell yeah. Streaming
Oh,
for 3 hours
man.
on the Twitch.
3 hours on Twitch, man. And we still standing. We still
still
strong.
here. Yes.
A little tired, but man, that was a blast, man. We had fun.
Yeah, man.
Got on
Yeah,
some
man.
got on some Ghost of Tsushima. Went through Division. Shot at some dudes.
Got shot at.
Got shot at. Shot at some more dudes.
Got shot at some more.
Oh man, it was real out there. It was real
It
out
was
there,
real.
but it was fun, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to everybody that was on the Twitch stream. We're gonna be
Yes.
doing those more often.
Yes.
Today was kind of like finally ripping that seal off, right?
Yeah.
Had
yeah.
to go on and do it.
get the first one out the way.
It didn't hurt too bad.
Nah, it wasn't that bad once we got up and running.
Right.
Yeah, because, boy, I tell you, technology sometimes, it
Man.
don't like me sometimes. It just don't. But nonetheless, we in the building, man. And it was a week. Boy, it was a busy week.
Yeah.
Man.
One hell of a week.
I know it might have been an APB out for your boy for a minute. Because up until I got triggered on Twitter, you hadn't heard from me, man. Ain't been no Star Wars Wednesdays. I just been, man, look, I'm going to just tell the people like this. It's been busy, man. Work, trying to transition, doing that thing, man, you know, graduation, all that, man. Take a lot out of you, boy. But we in here, and let me just get it clear and let me say it right now. We're going to have a relatively short show tonight because I owe the people a turn up.
Yes, it's true.
So we're going to get in here. We're going to get in here and talk about some of this news from this week, stuff that we thought was dope, stuff that we didn't think was all that. And then we taking it to the Discord, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So what's up, though, man? How's your week? How you feeling?
Hey, it's been a pretty productive week. Been a good week. Got some things popping, got it going.
What's up, man?
That's pretty much it. That's all it is.
That's
we
right.
Got the week.
Well,
holds
then,
it down.
Let's go on and get to some of this news then, man. Some of these
Hell
events.
yeah.
Let's start.
Hell.
Let's start. We're going to start with Miss Marvel, man.
Go
because
ahead.
I want to know, have you checked out Miss Marvel? Have you seen the episode? What did you think?
You want to know what I thought?
Yes, I do.
You want to know what I thought?
I want to know what you thought.
What I thought.
What did you think?
About Miss Marvel.
Yes, about Miss Marvel. What did you think about Miss Marvel? Please.
I felt like Miss Marvel was something a little between like That's So Raven and FDA approved LSD for kids. That's what it felt like. All the moving images and the flying portraits of all the different versions of Miss Marvel and what was going to happen here and popping stuff out of books. If I was tripping, I might have enjoyed it a little bit better. But it is definitely for that teenage era there. The kids.
That demographic,
it's for the kids.
if you will. Yeah,
It's
man.
definitely for the kids.
I'm going to tell you, I didn't watch it. I watched the recap video on it.
Gotcha.
Just so I could know what was going on. But I this is one of those shows. And I hate that Miss Marvel has to be the one. But I found myself having to practice what I preach. Because I thought I could get on here. I could watch Miss Marvel and then get on and tell everybody how I wasn't really excited for it, wasn't really anticipating it, and how the show really didn't like surprise me in any way because it was every bit of everything that I thought it was going to be, and I did not enjoy it. In fact, I could have even gone so far to say that it might have been a waste of my damn time. But you know what? I had to practice what I preach, man. I just didn't watch it.
Gotcha.
I just didn't watch it. And I watched some highlights. I watched some recaps. Shout out to Trend. I checked out Trend's little review of the first episode. Checked out a couple of other content creators, Mayne. And I mean, from what I saw, it's High School Musical meets MCU.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yes, I made it. I made it through, man.
Made it through.
Whew, I'm so glad Jedi Jen was there.
Oh, man.
I couldn't have done it by myself.
Hey,
Green
man.
Bear left the boy hanging.
Hey, man, look.
Darth Chaos left me hanging. Left
man.
me.
But
Flat
I mean,
leavers.
From what I've seen, the show looks like it hit on every cylinder it intended to. Looks like people enjoyed it. I saw some comments about the CGI being really good and things like that.
Did you?
Yes, I was told, or I actually saw that apparently this was some of the best CGI.
Really?
Yes. In fact, I'll take it a step further because according to Rotten Tomatoes, this is the best Marvel show to date. Mama Good doing it one more again with the twin. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, Mama.
I'm telling you, she's just so sweet. Sweeter than cotton candy, but stronger than Papa's old brandy. Yes.
Facts.
Facts. But yeah, man, like I saw, yes, highest rated best opening Rotten Tomatoes score. Now, upon seeing this news, I text you immediately and told you, and I'm gonna look dead into the camera when I say this, because I'm saying this more so to do with another show we're gonna talk about here in a minute. But as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, y'all lost all credibility with me, Mayne. Let the music run. Yeah, man, nah. Rotten Tomatoes can miss me, bro. You can miss me, because here's what that tells me. That tells me that somebody on the inside of Rotten Tomatoes is picking and choosing what shows they let these users review bomb. Because you want to tell me, you trying to tell me that you can review bomb the Justice League. Now, we know that the second Justice League movie was, it wasn't like it was Oscar worthy, but it was leaps and bounds better than that first one. Leaps and bounds better. But look at the score. Look at the score.
Is there a score? They have a score.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got a score, man. They got a score. They review bombed Solo. Now, again, Solo, not the greatest movie in the world, but it wasn't as bad. I really enjoyed Solo. But they review bombed it that the score was so low. Disney was like, we ain't even gonna make another Solo movie. We just gonna ignore Solo. You know what I'm saying? So this review bomb thing is a thing, but apparently Miss Marvel is immune to that.
They're trying to get that FDA LSD approved for kids out there, man.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So that's the thing to me that I found to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
All that means to me, I mean, I'm not even gonna put on the conspiracy theory hat, but what that means is we got a new sub.
Hey, nice. And we got
a $5.
Yes.
As Miss Marvel is my jam. It's actually a better show than you think. MCU rules. Michael, I respect it. I'm sure you enjoyed it. I am not here to poo-poo on it. It just ain't for me, man.
Yeah, it's just
not
ain't for me.
Not my cup of tea. It wasn't. The show was not marketed or made for my demographic, and that's totally cool. I got no problem with that. But I ain't watching that, man. I'm not watching. It's not a show that I am fortunate enough that my daughters are old enough,
right,
that they have surpassed that. Daddy, sit down and watch this with me. Like, we watch some stuff, but we able now to watch like some stuff, a little more maturing content now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My daughters are 15 or 14. Let me no, actually she is 15. Look, I'm at that age where I don't remember my daughter's age. That's terrible.
That is
15
terrible.
and 18, man. 15 and 18, or 14 and 18. Why did the years just run to get carried to 5? If it was 2008,
yeah,
that's 14. Woo, boy, I was gonna say 15. I was about to stop the stream and just go lay down. I was 14. 14.
She gonna pop on screen.
That's just a testament to her maturity. My sweetheart carries herself like a 15-year-old. That's right. I just hope she ain't doing that in 10 years. Like, if she's still carrying herself like a 15-year-old, we got a problem. But man, I don't have to worry about watching that with them. You know what I'm saying? It was a miracle that we actually got Chip and Dale out of the way together.
I still ain't watched that yet.
Oh man, I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna really enjoy it. But yeah, man, I'm not. You can't come to me anymore and tell me. But Rotten Tomatoes says
no more Rotten Tomatoes.
No more
man.
Rotten Tomatoes.
I already seen they rated that show high as hell, and it must have been high as hell when they did it, because I mean it's only one episode for one, and for you to say it's the best of anything
seeing the first episode, it's the best. Like, come on. It's either we got a shield behind there or it's a 10-year-old. And they just love everything.
Yes.
And so they're gonna rate it 98 because they know numbers.
And in case we got some of the peanut gallery out there, because I want to make sure I tell on myself, I am the same person that came out after the first 2 episodes of Kenobi and said they were the best. It was the best Star Wars content that Disney's made so far. That was a little bit of fanboying, y'all. I hope y'all realize that. That was my Star Wars saying I really, really am enjoying Kenobi. Not that I legitimately wanted to put it at the top of the pedestal after 2 episodes. Come on, man. Come on. However, we gonna address Kenobi. We got some things to talk about Kenobi, man. But not Miss Marvel. I just keep coming back to not Miss Marvel.
All right, well, I actually watched it, and it wasn't like a cringy sit through.
Okay.
But it was definitely like sitting back and watching Hannah Montana, watching something on a Disney Channel of the effect of with a bigger budget, with a much bigger budget. I don't know who told you about that CGI, but even myself, and I seen quite a few on the Twitters that said that CGI ain't done, man. Enough for Screen Rant and a couple other places to write some articles about it. And I don't know, I was kind of watching it myself, and
I want to say it might have been the homie Trinity, man, that was like giving props to this CGI. I really think it was, because I think what he was saying was, if I'm not mistaken, and I hope Trent, if I'm in here, I ain't lying on you. But I think what he was saying is that he had kind of a problem with the CGI in some of these MCU shows, and or should I say these Disney shows in general, because he feels like the scale of the shows don't really look that great. Like it feels small, and the CGI doesn't really match what he was expecting, because these are big, huge movie studios. So he was thinking that we was gonna get big, huge movie studio budgets attached to these shows, and it doesn't seem like it from a quality standpoint. But I want to say that what he specifically called out about Miss Marvel is that wasn't the case with this show.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken,
when you get to
the
use of her powers, it's a little
jarring,
iffy. But at the same time, it's like you got to try to, I guess, put your mind in what they're aiming for, what her powers are, and what she can do. So I mean, it may look a little unrealistic,
right?
I guess, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, I guess if you look at it from that standpoint, it's really not that bad. You know, I've been trying to sit and digest the way it looked myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had other little issues.
Okay.
So when and you probably don't care for spoilers, so I'm just gonna talk about it.
Please speak on.
So there's the part where she uses her powers. She accidentally hits the Ant-Man head, and this head is so heavy that when it actually decides to fall, it literally falls and rolls all the way through the expo like it's a damn Indiana Jones boulder.
Okay.
It hits something and then bounces off to continue rolling, which detaches the hammer, Thor's hammer, and then the hammer comes swinging down full force. And the whole time you're thinking about this, it's like, the hell? Why did they make him so heavy? Like, that could have easily been like paper mache. That should have fell and shattered. Nobody should be getting hurt off of Ant-Man's head and his hammer swinging around freely like a damn pendulum. And then the hammer hits one of her friends that I guess like she doesn't really have a rivalry with, but she has some kind of insecurity about, I guess you could say, kind of popular girl type deal.
Okay.
So like she's dressed up there as Miss Marvel, but like an older school version. And Miss Marvel Kamala, she's there dressed up as more of the new school version.
Okay.
So like she's standing there and the old girl's asking her for her autograph. And in the midst of this head rolling and causing calamity and damage, she's wanting to get old girl's number so she can come and do magic trick stuff at birthday parties and all this stuff. And then she gets like old girl's like, Kamala's just looking around stunned. while this hammer is coming at them, and she waits to the last minute before she finally tells old girl to move, which doesn't happen. So she gets smacked with the hammer, which is heavy enough to carry her into the air and swing back to where she has to jump off and like kind of save her with the projection of her powers or whatever. And then, yeah, like she almost gets Gwen Stacy'd.
Oh yeah, okay, I did see that.
So
yep.
Yeah, so that was like out of the entire episode, like the most interesting thing, because you finally get to like to see the powers and see how she's going to handle Forward Origin. But at the same time, it just seemed very forced. It's extremely forced to try to have those elements be dangerous, with her not having like much control or understanding of whatever her powers are. So I mean, when it comes to the powers, they didn't like overdo it. They kind of showed you some things that might have been related to it, like the shadow people, which would look like. And like I said, so out of the whole episode, that's kind of like the most interesting thing. Outside of that, Kamala Khan as a character, as the main character, she's like kind of she has overprotective parents.
Yeah.
Which if you know, and I actually have had quite a few Middle Eastern friends, they could be very overprotective. They're very real world type people. So, but they overdo it. So it's like, you say you want to go to a party, it could be a mundane work party, but as a kid, or a school party, you can be mundane, but as a kid saying you're going to a party and leaving it at that, it sounds like you're trying to go out boozing, drinking, short clothes, and all that type of stuff. So that's kind of how they treated the idea of her going to the Avenger Con. Was like, oh, you're not going out there, no skimpy outfits, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, she's just trying to go be a kid and win a costume party. But they wanted to be overprotective and wouldn't let her go unless her father went with her dressed like the Hulk.
Gotcha.
And that didn't go over well. So they kind of do touch good on what her home life is like, and possibly why she would be stuck in this daydream kind of a lifestyle, which is not just noticed by her parents, but it's also noticed by her principal and some of the other students and stuff around schools. Like she's that weird girl who's always doodling in the book, never really paying attention to much, and has her head in the clouds. But obviously that's about to change coming this next episode, after she's discovering that now she's got some kind of powers. I'm pretty sure she's going to be a kid about it, and you know, she's going to want to figure out how to use them, but who knows what kind of things she'll get into with using them. So like the first episode, more of a That's So Raven, kind of like a young child coming into an adult kind of situation, right? But with very teenage and young vibes to it. So us adults, us older people looking at it from a child's perspective, we may not find too much enjoyment out of all of that. But Kamala Khan being a rising character in Marvel over the past few years, a lot of her fans are probably eating it all up. So that's probably where a lot of the good reviews are coming from. At least at first. Right. It's gonna take a minute for people like us who maybe sit through another episode or two to go on there and be like, yeah, this show ain't it. And then that audience score may fluctuate a little bit. Yeah, I don't even, to be honest, I don't see the audience score changing, because I'm full on into this conspiracy theory now. I'm like, they're doing it. I decided I'm gonna jump all the way on board with that and be like, they're never gonna be. It's gonna be the greatest ever of all time. But either way. Again, I'm glad people are enjoying the show. More diverse Marvel content means that extends the longevity of Marvel content. I think there's a fine line though, because at some point you might start talking about oversaturation. I mean, it's inevitable when you just continuing to introduce new characters, and especially because we haven't had anything that has tied all of these characters together yet. Right. Not yet. Got some news this week that might change some of that. Some of them phase 4s might be coming together for a show or a movie, actually, called Thunderbolts. Yeah, man. So we got some like light confirmation that Thunderbolts is a thing. And they finally found a director for it, man. And so I'm like, that's what's up, man. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm hyped for Thunderbolts, because I'm not really familiar with them from too deep from the comics, but the concept and knowing the characters that are kind of rumored to be slated to be in that, I'm with it. I'm with it, especially because it's gonna pull together
some of these. I see you hating Marvel. I see you. I am no curmudgeon, man. I just know what I like and what I don't like. But nah, man, I think Thunderbolts is gonna be dope. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see how they handle it since William Hurt has passed.
Yeah.
Like, will they name the team Thunderbolts in honor of him? Are they gonna try to do some kind of a throwback thing? Will they do the little CGI like they did with Grand Moff Tarkin for him? Like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah. I heard rumors that they're talking about they may recast him. But then I don't know. Marvel doesn't have a really high rate of recasting people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, with the multiverse, they can always get away with saying something happened and they pulled another Thunderbolt Ross through and say they got a Thunderbolt. So I mean, that could possibly happen. I'm thinking Julia Dreyfus's character might actually take it over. The Viper character she's playing.
Yeah.
Because it kind of fits into her going around and practically recruiting everybody. So they can just remove the element of, or like you said, they could do in the memory of Thunderbolt Ross. But at that same time, is the problem we have with Thunderbolt Ross is he also becomes the Red Hulk.
Right.
And that was something that's been super teased with him trying to get the serum and trap the Hulk and all that types of stuff. So it's like, are they going to abandon that storyline and make a new one to make Thunderbolts fit? Or will they try to go recast and give a new Thunderbolt Ross character so there can still be a Red Hulk and then they can keep going on with there? So it'd be kind of interesting to see what they decide to do. They may do both. It would be really easy to do both, you know, have a memorial for Thunderbolt Ross, he's dead, blah, 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 blah. She do some kind of recruitment thing, pulls another Thunderbolt Ross through, talking about the team won't be the same without him, blah, blah, blah. He's dead in this universe. And he could already kind of have some kind of gene to have the Red Hulk kind of happen. And then they can actually essentially skip certain things by going that route. But, you know, we'll have to see what they're going to do. It's already an interesting pull together that they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to wind up being able to get somebody like Bucky on their team, if they'll have him, because they're kind of like in the middle. They're not exactly the Avengers, but they're not exactly the worst crew, but they don't have the best intentions.
Right.
Depending on what it is they're doing. They're actually what the Avengers were supposed to be if they were going to be controlled by a government entity. So with them being led by U.S. Agent, which I'm actually interested to see more of, because you ain't got to see no more of him since the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
And then I want to see what they do with the homie Tim Goth, who's coming back to play the Abomination.
Yes.
So that's going to be hot, because now he looks actually more comic accurate. That's going to be cool. They might actually succeed in getting Yelena to be the Thunderbolt Black Widow. So that would be dope. Taskmaster, they kind of I don't know what they did with Taskmaster after Black Widow.
Yeah.
They kind of saved her. So she's not necessarily a good guy or a bad guy, but she might be more good now because they saved her from her pops. So that'd be interesting to see if they bring her back. And it'd be interesting to see if they decide to introduce any new characters instead of trying to recycle some of the same old common ones, which we know in MCU doesn't really do too much.
Right.
They always like to have their own unique spin on things. So now that they got a director and they like the way it's going, I'm kind of interested to see what things that they're going to throw in here and what it's going to be about. There's a lot to choose from.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go with it, because what my thing is, okay, so what threat are they facing, or what are they dealing with, and does that have anything to do with what's coming up? You know, is it going to tie into anything that we know is going on already? So I'm definitely interested in that piece of it and trying to see kind of where they go with that. So yeah, Thunderbolts, man, but that wasn't the biggest kind of like confirmation that we got this week, I don't think, man. I think the biggest one, Marvel related at least, I think the biggest one was like the somewhat confirmation of Namor being in Black Panther 2. Yes. And us getting the 2 promotional steals and getting to see Shuri and Okoye and taking a look at that and seeing kind of where they going, because even though it's just promotional art, I feel like I'm getting a vibe, man, and I don't like the vibe I'm getting. I really don't. And I have to say this now, and I'm scared for Black Panther 2, man.
Why?
I'm scared for Black Panther 2 because I think I'm worried that the movie is going to be co-opted. I think I have this fear that Black Panther 2 is going to be the perfect opportunity to officially put a stamp on the low-key messaging that we got from Black Panther 1.
Okay.
Now, Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie definitely has some socially conscious undertones, right? We know the whole dynamic between T'Challa and Killmonger and how that went down and the parallels to real life and all of that. And, you know, it was really subtly done. I think it was tastefully done. I don't think it took away from the movie at all. I think it actually enhanced the movie and gave it a little bit more depth. But you know that thing that studios like to do when they get a flavor, they get a recipe right, and they just don't want to leave it alone because they feel like they can scale it and just make it bigger or more impactful. And
add more.
And have you taken a look at our climate socially the last couple of years, or better yet, let's take it our social climate since Black Panther dropped. We are a little bit more inclined to speak out about things that we feel are socially unjust.
Right.
I have a feeling, man. I don't know why, but I have this feeling.
I'd say that feeling would be correct if Black Panther 2 happens to be more in America than it is in Wakanda, or even focusing on wherever they're saying Namor comes from. And the biggest reason why I would say that is true is because, yes, you're right. Here in America, that kind of air and space is very prevalent. But it's not the same all over the world. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
no
if they're
doubt.
going to try to focus on, if they're at least going to focus on whatever's going on with T'Challa, his loss, all that types of stuff, we can hope that they don't have enough space to include any of that stuff. And they would have to focus more on giving us lore on Namor and introducing and fleshing that out enough to make it make sense for why he would be a villain for Black Panther. Then they would have to focus on replacing Black Panther and all that types of stuff. But we could just hope that they don't find a way to oversaturate it. I expect it to be in there enough, but let's just hope it's not oversaturated to where it takes away.
I'm gonna put a name on it. I'm gonna say my fear, and I really hope people hear me when I say this. But if the overall plot of this movie ends up being something along the lines of T'Challa being lost and Wakanda feeling like they have no sense of direction, and it being up to the women of Wakanda to save the day because there was no man that was able to step up, and so it had to be a woman, and we have the whole Namor confrontation and everything else, I ain't gonna like that at all. I might borderline hate it. And the reason I'm a borderline hate it has nothing to do with the woman aspect other than it's cheap, it's predictable, and it's pandering. That's exactly what it would be, because you can't tell me that that you're not taking advantage of the current social climate if you go that hard with the movie. Now, I don't think they will. I really don't, because I think that the reason we haven't heard a lot about what they're going to do with Black Panther is because they are going to throw us a curveball. They're going to throw us a curveball of curveballs, I think. That's my hope with how they deal with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Like, I really hope that they, we're sitting here going, well, do they recast? Do they give it to Shuri? Do they give it to Shuri and then Shuri hands it to somebody else? Do we do a multiverse thing? Like, how do we handle it? I think all of those are wrong. I don't think it's going to be anything like what we're speculating. But my fear is that they go that route with it, and if so, that is so predictable. Like, that's the only reason I would be against it, is because it's so predictable. Like, it's the easy play. And I don't want the easy play.
Right.
Like, I want you to give me good writing. You gave me good writing in the first Black Panther. It was borderline great writing in a certain aspect. Some of it was a little bit contrived. Some of it was a little predictable. But I enjoyed the first Black Panther movie, but if you turn it into a message for 2 hours, nah, man, I'm gonna be hotter than some of these Star Wars haters are at Obi-Wan, man. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since, like, even back then when we were talking about the recasting and all that stuff, the only thing to me, and I agree that is predictable, is you choose Shuri, you give her a team of women, and you go out there and you handle the business because there's no man that's around to do the thing that is necessary. That's kind of like the only thing that I've seen, unless they recast, unless they pull from a multiverse or make a deal with somebody like Michael B to come back as a clean Killmonger, or you give it to the dude who played M'Baku.
See, that would be, I would rather them do that than go to Lady Rock, because even that's predictable as hell. Like, going to M'Baku would be predictable as well, and I would be down on that too. But the only reason I would give it a slight nod over the alternative is just because it doesn't lean so hard into like social commentary. Like, that's the whole thing that I just want to avoid, because I don't watch these movies to be reminded of the struggles I deal with at home or in the world, man. Like, I don't need you to like give me some artistic representation of some ish that I deal with like quite daily. It's not necessary. And I'm just like, if that's what we're going to turn this into, and you're going to miss the opportunity, or you're going to fumble the opportunity to really do something like really significant with this movie. Because again, think back to like what Black Panther meant for us when that movie dropped. You had people going, like, you had us going. It wasn't like any other Marvel movie drop. You get your people coming out in cosplay or whatever. But we was turning up in dashikis, bruh. Like, we was there. Like, that was an event for like the culture, bruh. And you have a chance now. You've got everybody on board. Like, all eyes of the culture are gonna be on this movie.
Yeah.
Like, this movie, and I feel bad for Ryan in certain ways, Ryan Coogler, because I don't know if this is I think this might be one of those movies where he's damned if he does or damned if he doesn't.
Might be, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be really tough, because you talking about replacing like a person who basically, it seemed like, was born to play that role.
Yeah.
Like Chadwick Boseman should have been able to be T'Challa for the next decade at least.
Yeah.
Man, and that's
would've been nice.
But his story and what he did and what he went through is so powerful that the very next movie that is going to honor him, everybody's gonna have eyes on that. And that's why I keep thinking, man, what if they go corporate and they use it for an opportunity to get a message out?
Right. Well, I mean, the first Black Panther, you have to say, had Kevin Feige's hands on it.
Yes, it did.
And I'm pretty sure this one is about the same. So I think in that respect of it going like corporate, it probably wouldn't, because he's a fanboy of it, so I don't think he'd let it go out that way too far. But I don't know. There's just so many different avenues and not enough info that they've released about the show or about the movie yet that kind of gives you a clear perspective on what they're actually going to do. A lot of stuff, for some reason, I guess you could say, is under wraps. We don't know how they're really handling the T'Challa thing. They're changing some of the origin to Namor.
Right.
So it's like, what
which I
narrative
have
are they
zero
changing that
problem
for?
with, by the way. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I
makes sense.
don't mind that, and in fact, I'll take it a step further. I think it makes more sense to have him be from like Aztec descent or however they want to do it, specifically because of the way they're trying to relate the story. And when you look at how they handled the first movie, it's a more realistic kind of, like, they went for the Malcolm versus Martin dynamic with T'Challa and Killmonger, right? So it only makes sense that they would hit you with something that's a little more grounded and a little more relevant, because there's some nuances between like black culture versus brown culture that they could really get into. You know what I'm saying? And then essentially at some point perhaps have them come to the like realization, look, we should be fighting on the same team. You know what I mean? So like, there's certain areas where you can put some, and that's the thing. Just with that alone, there's opportunity for you to inject some social commentary in there in a way that's thoughtful and tasteful. Like you don't have to, and that's what I'm so like unnerved or so paranoid about how they might end up doing this movie, is because it's not that I don't want to see the social commentary. I just don't want to see them throw like a whole gloss of social commentary, like coating all over the whole damn movie. Like do it thoughtfully, make it make sense, make it tell a great story. But and maybe they can, maybe they go they defeat the all female route and it comes out fantastic, and then I have to get on here and say I ain't know what the hell I was talking about. I have no problem with that. But credit history shows it don't generally work out that way. I'm just a little worried. Just a little. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at about a good 4.5. Now we
almost halfway there.
I'm almost halfway there. I'm almost at full blown, level 10. Put the chains on the doors. The enemy is here. Like I'm not there yet though. I'm not there yet.
I figured they would probably wait to try to have something like that more in Miss Marvel and the Marvels.
Yeah.
Because the majority of them are women. Than trying to do that in Black Panther. But they did have a lot of strong women backing up T'Challa, and it seemed like it was just like T'Challa and a bunch of strong women. So like when it comes to that, the only thing that kind of makes sense is and I kind of agree. I saw earlier Felicity was saying like Okoye should be the Black Panther over.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I would
believe that better, honestly.
Well, except from like, how does that work from a lineage standpoint? Like, is there any type of lineage thing? Because it really doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter because from one perspective, M'Baku had a chance to take the throne.
Right, but
So
it would be like for his tribe. He would be like the tribe leader. So technically, from it being T'Challa, it would go to Shuri because she would be the princess, and that's kind of, it even goes like that in the comics. Like when T'Challa steps down, at least from the throne, he gives it to his sister. He doesn't give it to his mom or anybody like that.
Right.
So like for Okoye to be Black Panther, that would be like it goes to Shuri, but Shuri doesn't feel like she's ready or able to take the mantle, so she can say, "Hey, I want Okoye to do it." Like she could do that.
You know what sucks? And is we have to wait to see the movie, but this is another thing I thought about. Shuri's arc might get just completely derailed. Because the Shuri that we got in the first Black Panther, I was looking forward to seeing more of that, like that playful kind of little sister vibe, but except she was the genius after all. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that slept on little jokester, but she's actually the most crucial like person from an intelligence standpoint in Wakanda. And now I feel like they're gonna have to make her be so serious. Like she's gonna have to totally pivot now, and it's like it'll be kind of like a coming of age, kind of growing up thing in some respects. And I'm cool with that, except it's like, dang, I really was looking forward to seeing more of her playful side and like getting some more of that, because like that was hilarious to me. But that's one of the unfortunate things that might change as a result of Chadwick Boseman's passing, man. It's like, even like, it just don't feel right saying that, man. Like it sunk in. I know it happened, but it's just not. It's the same way with Kobe, man. It's like when you say it or when you think about it, you're like, dang, them dudes is actually gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, man. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace to Mr. Chadwick Boseman, man.
Facts.
We'll see how it goes though, man. It's still gonna be Wakanda forever on mine though, man. We ain't gotta agree on everything for me to support, man. So if they do the girl power route, hey man, more power to them. But I'm just hoping that they do it a little bit better,
how would you feel
more thoughtful
about Bucky being a temporary Black Panther?
No, man. No, there's certain things that just can't happen. There's certain things that just cannot happen.
Temporary.
We cannot. The White Wolf cannot become the Black Panther. No, no, that is inherently wrong. I'm sorry. Like, I hate to sound like that guy, but no, man, get off my lawn, bro. You can't.
Oh man.
No, man. Look, you can go be the Black Cheetah. You can go do something like that.
The Black Puma.
There you go. You can be the Black Puma, Brown
The
Puma.
Black Puma.
The Black Puma. But you cannot, Buggy cannot, no. That.
Oh, man.
If that happened, bruh, like, oh, Lord. Then
It would need
Wakanda would
need
have
a proper
Starbucks.
setup or send off. Like if they just immediately
still
was
no-
like,
there's
we
no
had to
way.
make Bucky Black Panther.
Do you
and
know
they did
what
it.
Black Twitter will do to Disney?
I'm
if
trying
they,
to tell you.
Bruh, they'd be like, that's the best you came up with. You'd have,
there'd be
you'd have so
all
many of
types
them.
of stuff.
You'd have so many of those content creators, and you know what I mean by those content creators going, they just couldn't wait to whitewash it. They just couldn't wait.
Right.
Like it would be,
Right.
bruh. That would be a whole thing, man. Then we'd have to decide which side we on, because you know all of us would get together and want to say. Then we'd have to be like, you know what, man? Like that's always my fear. Like if the revolution do hit, do I have to really co-sign with these wild ass dudes? Like, do I have to really side with the? Is it really them versus us? Like, does it have to be like I have to rock with the extremists?
I feel like the irony in something like that would be it couldn't just stay black and white. It couldn't. There's no way.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way today that it could stay that way. Period. Because of the types of things that both sides would be fighting for and against. They would see that it's not just as plain as black and white. It's just not.
I'm telling you, man. And then how
This
does
wouldn't
that
make
work?
sense.
And this is the other question I have. Like, because it's funny. I see Polyhedra's question.
Right.
How does that gonna work?
Right.
Like, are we just gonna like? What if you want to defect to the other side? Like, how does that work? Is it like, nah, son? This is bigger than that.
See, so essentially, this is what would happen. It would start off two groups against each other, but it would probably branch off to be about 4 altogether, because you had the two groups that started it, and then both groups would shun people from both sides that would probably either not with them all the way, or had a different idea, and then they would form their own coalition, and then they would probably wind up shunning some people who were more radical or extremists, and then they would have their own. So there would be like 4 sides to this whole revolution that we talk about, and just about nobody would win except for those who decided to be like, you know what, this is retarded. We need to go back. And I'm saying retarded on purpose because that would be very retarded. And we just need to go back to everybody realizing everybody matters. Period.
I'm telling you. Well, it's a good thing. It's a damn good thing that there will never be a revolution. Because Gil Scott Heron told us the revolution will not be televised. And now everything is televised. So we ain't got to worry about no revolution happening no time soon. Because you ain't going to be able to put the revolution on World Star or TikTok or wherever you want. No, we going to have to be way past that point. So we digress.
I feel you, Polyhedra, but there would be no way that there would be any kind of peaceful coexistence with two groups already at war.
No.
The third group would essentially be torn, and there would be a fourth group that would be extremists. And then they would probably want to be radical against the other two sides, while you got the third side that came together, probably trying to live in peace, but it would still come to their doorstep. So that'd be a very naive way of thinking about going about things. And that will still happen. There's still going to be a naive group of people and something like that. You can't help it. And they'll be like, oh, no, we don't touch the wall. We don't do that to get blown the hell up.
Let me answer this. Let me answer this little nugget, this little carton of kerosene that Felicity just dropped. She said, what happened to keeping social issues out of entertainment? Only for Star Wars and not the MCU? That's a great question. Sometimes you can't really avoid it. You made a movie about a black superhero that had to kind of like ingratiate themselves with the rest of the world because they had been hidden. That's kind of one of those that you can't really ignore the social like implications in that. Now, Star Wars is a show about laser swords and people in space and alien races and whatnot. There's really no room there shouldn't be any room for racism there, like in that kind of way to make it, because I struggle trying to understand how somebody would have a problem with a black person in Star Wars, but you cool with these aliens though. That's like racism on steroids right there. Like, no. I'm cool with these Bothans, but you keep those blacks out of here.
These Bothans.
like,
I'm cool with all the banthas.
right. I'm like, come on, man. Like, nah, that's some places it makes sense. But when it is overtly injected into things, that's what I mean. Just keep it. My preference would be that none of it would made its way in. Like, I would love to be able to watch Black Panther and that not even be an aspect, but that's a reflection of the society we live in, not the movie. That's the difference. You can put those types of concepts in the movie. I just don't want you to turn it into some type of a referendum on any particular group because of the way it's represented in a movie or a TV show. That's all I'm saying. But let's go on and rip the Band-Aid off of this Kenobi thing, man. Because I feel like I owes an explanation.
Yos.
A real person doesn't have a problem. None of us know those people. If you do, then call them out. I'm not sure if I know what you mean by that one, but okay.
Talking about those people. No, we used to say those people.
Oh, well, you know what? We know who those people are.
Exactly.
We
Those
know, and to that point, miss me when you try to act like you don't know who those people are, because those people are the people that co-sign the foolishness. Like Obi-Wan ain't a good show. Yeah, I said it. Let me address some things, and I got to nitpick with you a little bit, player, because you made some comments about Miss Marvel, and I want to bring it full circle. I'm glad I remembered. Like, normally I forget, but now I remember this one. So you talked about Miss Marvel, right? And one of your issues was with the Ant-Man head scene and the head being extremely heavy and rolling and causing all of this mass destruction. Now, basically what you were saying was that wouldn't really happen that way in real life. Am I wrong? Is that kind of
basically?
Okay.
I don't see it being all that. Like, it was
right.
It was extra.
Okay.
Really extra.
I will challenge you by saying it's supposed to be extra. It's a show, man, with superheroes and superpowers. They're going to straight.
That's a hell of a place to stretch, though.
No, it's not. It's not, because my thing is, so you're gonna nitpick the fact. So you're gonna nitpick the fact that a head on a statue or whatever was unrealistically heavy, but not have a problem.
It's not even proportionate to roll.
Okay.
It was rolling.
Okay,
dude.
but could I not say the same thing? Could I not say the same thing when you start talking about Cap's shield and the dynamics of that mother lover, or some of the powers that people have? Yes, you could, because I could be like, there's no metal on Earth that you could get to throw and be able to respond in that way. That's unrealistic.
So, okay, so what? Okay, so you're talking about the actual superhero and his power. I'm talking about a prop. I'm talking about something that you know that they would bring in on the side, and there's no way that it would have the proportions it needed to have to roll. It's Ant-Man's head with antler type stuff on it.
If I was watching,
that made no sense.
If I was watching the documentary on a high school kid that was actually filming her experience at AvengerCon, you'd be absolutely right. But I'm watching a show with a high school kid with superpowers. I'm not expecting it to be completely realistic in every aspect. Even if they get sense. No, it wouldn't.
It would make better sense.
Okay.
So if it had like an aura around it, so after she hit it, it was then shown that it was affected by the magic power to make it roll like that. But you're gonna try to tell me that with the Cap's shield, how they describe the science and physics behind it, which I can get behind, with Iron Man, how they explain the science and physics behind it, that I can get behind, that I'm supposed to get behind this prop.
So what you telling me? What you telling me then?
Dynamics to do this.
Okay,
so it's just gonna do it.
So what you telling me then is if Marvel did a one shot where they explained the creation of the Ant-Man statue and gave you all of the materials that it used and said,
I'd still be like, that's extra.
Be like, oh, we recycled this based off the damage from New York and used like building material from when the like Thanos showed up. And this is all. Dude, they would realize
they would pick your route. They would pick your route and be like, yo, you just gotta release yourself and release it to the fantasism of what we're trying to do. That's what they would say. They wouldn't have no physics behind that.
We will agree to disagree, bro. Because if I'm watching every single show or movie I watch and I'm nitpicking when something doesn't make sense from a physics standpoint or a logic standpoint, and
I'm not obvious though,
bro. It's obvious in every movie. There you could watch any movie. You know what? We will do this. I will challenge you to watch 3 different movies on a main game movie night, and I can point out at least 5 different instances where something happened that wouldn't realistically happen in real life. And
I could probably do the same thing,
right.
But I didn't say that it took away from me not liking Miss Marvel.
No, I'm not saying
something that was very obvious when they tried to do her powers. It made it feel forced.
Thank you. So then we will agree right there, homeboy, because you said that while you were able to point out that it didn't make sense from a logic standpoint, it did not what? Say it again so everybody can hear that.
I didn't say it took away from the show for me.
Okay. Precisely. Because that was a creative kind of like creative freedom decision by the writer to put in that little scene. And you were like, okay, that's a little extra, but all right, fine, right? Is that a fair statement?
I was thinking about that about the whole damn show.
Okay,
if you want my honesty, that's just one
totally
scene
cool.
I decided to point out.
Totally cool. Okay, so now let me bring this to Obi-Wan, because I heard everybody like going in on the whole idea of the last episode being so unrealistic because Obi-Wan snuck Leia out in nobody noticed. He was walking through all of these stormtroopers and Inquisitors and nobody saw that. So we just watched Obi-Wan hold back a whole damn ocean of water with the Force. And nobody thought that maybe he used some kind of a Jedi mind trick to like distract everybody from seeing him walking out. Like that's not possible. That couldn't have been what happened. Because they didn't know.
That's kind of what I thought he did in the first place, especially against the stormtroopers.
Right. Exactly. And my thing is, for me personally, you don't have to explain that. Or you don't have to make that make sense. Was it a stretch? Was it kind of like, okay, really, that's how they getting out of there? Yes, absolutely. But I didn't go, okay, I'm turning Obi-Wan off because this is just completely ridiculous now.
Right. Yeah, I didn't turn off Miss Marvel.
Like I'm saying, bro, the man, does anybody understand physics? The man literally held the ocean back with the damn Force. And nobody batted an eyelash at that because what's his name did it first in the Force, or Vader did it first in Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, we've seen Vader do that before with the Force, so I can understand that. I can buy that. But oh no, there's no way that Leia would be able to sneak out with this man with a trench coat on, like they couldn't see he had 4 legs. That's what we leaning on, bro. That's what we leaning on in a show that's got space wizards and a dude that got all 4 limbs cut off and was burnt, and now he's walking around in a suit. Like, bro, this is where Star Wars fans miss me, because I'm like, hold on, man. Like, why do you pick and choose when you want to nitpick the little things about Star Wars that might not make sense in the world that you live in? Like, I don't walk around outside going, see, that's why you could never do that, because the Force, there's no way that you could.
Right, okay, so
fantasy.
I'll bring it back then. So if the Force can be the explainer on how the stormtroopers and all the regular people who don't believe in the Force, clones or whatever, they could easily be mind tricked. Do they have an effect for that? Do they have an effect that shows that someone is actually under the spell? I don't think so. They usually kind of introduce that in some way to show that this effect is taking effect. And so therefore you cognitively know, okay, so now they are using the Force to mask it. Why the hell can they do the same thing with that Ant-Man head rolling around, man, to show that it was actually affected by the powers used? I would believe that. But just like here, they didn't use any effect, and it can be explained away by something that we did not see as the case.
Okay, so wait, I hear you and you making sense, but I gotta pivot a minute because I'm triggered. Nobody's saying nothing is legit to complain about, Felicity. Let me be crystal clear on this for the 50-11th time. My issue is not that people complain about Obi-Wan. My issue has never been that people complain about shows they don't like. What gets on my everlasting nerve is the people who talk about it ad nauseum, yet still continue to watch the shit. That's the difference. If you say something is inherently racist or that somebody is continuously making bad content, then why the hell give it time? Why are you wasting your time? And maybe for you, and maybe that's where I need to realize that what I see as a waste of time may not be a waste of time to somebody else. And I just need to realize, hey, those people just gonna be crazy and do what they do. Let them. That's cool. Just don't come challenging me about my opinion about a show then. Because we already know where you stand on it. Because you stand on it, you sit on it. You lean on it. You moonwalk over it. We know how you feel about Star Wars already. You ain't got to keep reminding us. We know you don't like it. That's all I'm saying. That's what chaps my hide, because then I got to sit and defend the fact that I enjoy Kenobi to people who want to hit me with logic bombs in a show about space wizards. That's my issue. I'm like, really? Like, I didn't realize that was somewhat unrealistic, but that's not going to impact whether or not I enjoy the show, because I think for what the show is trying to accomplish, it's done that. But I also realize that this perfect version of Star Wars that everybody keeps trying to compare Star Wars to is never going to exist, because we're not writing it. And if you had 100 Star Wars fans write a Star Wars movie, it's going to be 100 different versions of it, because everybody's perspective on what makes Star Wars great is going to differ, even if ever so slightly. So all I'm saying is, why does it seem like the Star Wars haters have to go out of their way to rain on the parade of people who enjoy Star Wars? That's all I'm saying. Now, let me go ahead and say this, because I can already see Felicity. I can feel her typing the question on the keyboard. That is not specific to me going at Kendall about his opinion of Star Wars. Kendall is 1000% entitled to get on Twitter or wherever he wants to and give his opinion on Star Wars. I have no issue with that. But what I challenge is the statement I just made. That's why I got on. Not because I was like, Kendall shouldn't get on Twitter and make comments about not liking Star Wars. I said, nah, man, I'm not just going to let you sit on here and keep talking about this stuff like that is the defining thing, that like that's a factual, actual thing that makes Star Wars Kenobi, the Kenobi series, unwatchable or not good. You might choose to check out of it. But those of us who don't like hold it to those specific of standards are totally cool. Now, she says Star Wars has only ever been clunky and poorly written. That's fine, but apparently the millions of people who enjoy it have been able to forgive those shortcomings. So that's all I'm saying. And then you have people that are like, well, look at the scores on Rotten Tomatoes. We've already discussed that. We know what that's a result of. And I don't necessarily want to know about reviews. I want to know about figures. Give me something tangible. And you know what is tangible? The viewership of Kenobi, which has got some of the highest viewership numbers of any show on Disney Plus. So what does that tell you? That either A, the show is not really as bad as the haters want to make it seem, or we just got a lot of people with really low standards. And that we all are just gluttons for trash. Which might not be wrong, by the way. Like, that could very well be the case. But no, man. I'm just saying, if you know you don't like something, or if you know that it's not your lane, that's cool. Just don't try to get other people, and I'm not saying this is you, Felicity, so again, you can stop typing the question already, but don't try to get other people to jump on your bandwagon of hatred. Like, it's not necessary. that's the thing that gets me. That's the other thing that gets me is it's like, okay, so now we got to go on this crusade to try to get as many people to join the dark side and let them know that we don't. No, you're right. It is garbage.
Right.
No,
I mean, I even went on the homie Kendall's comments and tweets on Twitter, for not for the same reason, but like I guess he was focusing on different aspects of the show to say like little stuff like you just said, like that, to take you out and be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch the show for that. Like, then you're really missing like the essence of the show. Like the show is always going to have its fantasy points that don't make sense. Like you said about Miss Marvel, it's going to have that, and I'm not going to let those types of things draw me out of the show, because that's kind of why I don't watch TV like talking about anyway. I got select things that I'll pay attention to, and that's it. But like, just for the fact that like a person like me, I'm starting, like I said, getting the beginning of the answers to the time period in which Vader has healed, decided to come out, and he's searching for Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan and him are finally starting to come face to face and deal with what happened back on Mustafar. That's what I'm watching. That's what I'm seeing. I don't think every episode is always going to hit the cylinder of answering that question. There's going to be episodes that's going to need to happen to progress the story in order to get it to there. But like even this last episode kind of dropped some things on you that kind of pushed the narrative on certain characters. Right. Now you see that Reva has been in like face-to-face contact with Darth Vader, which can push her motivations a bit. Now you see that they're kind of using the same tactics. I've seen somebody while I was watching it talk about how Vader would have came in and talk about he was like, I'm done with your failures. He'd have just snapped her in half and been done with it. Wouldn't have gave her a reason, rhyme or reason to say what she did in the first place. But he didn't, and that's a common writing trope. You know, they'll come in and show that the person behind the movie is, you know, is angry with them. They'll give them a moment to explain. Explanation is usually something that's on the same lines as something that they would do, and they'd be like, oh, okay, my bad. Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. Right. But at the same time, you see that she does have actual motivations to get next to Darth Vader. You do see that Obi-Wan will damn near go to full lengths to protect Leia. You see that Leia and him are beginning to build that bond as to why later in years she's like, hey, go get Obi-Wan because he's that dude. And this is why she's got those types of feelings, because he came out there and saved her from pretty much dying, from being tortured by somebody that wants her dead. Who didn't really care about her. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of other little tropes that they dropped in there on the show that gave you the background that you needed outside of having to worry about, oh, well, you know, I'm walking this child out. You don't see anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he's a Jedi. So I would believe that because some kind of mind trick going on there. That's a good explainer for me. But she ain't gonna explain how that head rolled.
Maybe I need to see this head. Let me tell you like this. I'll tell you like this. If that head roll is anything like Batman flying in that parasail, then we got some things to talk about. But
it is just as bad.
I want to touch on Raz. I want to touch on Raz because Raz says, how do we critique it? I'm a Star Wars sweaty who doesn't love the show. Now here's where it's gonna get. Here's where the twist comes, and here's where some people gonna probably be like, "Al, shut the hell up." Al don't really love the show anymore either. Surprise, surprise. Like when the first two episodes, I felt I was in love. First two episodes of Kenobi, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want, because we were focusing on Kenobi kind of, you know, on Tatooine, figuring out where, like, how to exist in this world. Now, we knew that eventually there was going to be something that was going to pull him off of Tatooine. We knew that there was going to be something that that ends up kind of leading him and Vader to having some kind of a showdown. Here's where I started, I'm not going to say checking out of the show, but here's where I started going, this is why it's really tricky when you start doing shows that have established canon. Because it's kind of like a jury, like a jury case, and you talk about circumstantial evidence. That's all you keep giving me in this show, man. It's like all of these situations where Vader and Kenobi, or Leia and Vader, or whoever have crossed paths, and none of this had any type of lasting impact or direct impact to episode 4. Like, I'm supposed to, because it seems like, again, even though when Obi-Wan and Vader meet in episode 4, you know, he was like, there's a couple of references to the last time they met where he says, you know, at first I was a learner, now I'm the master. And then there's the one where he senses Kenobi and goes, I haven't felt that presence since, and then storms off. And so it kind of feels like, yeah, there was clearly a point where Obi-Wan and Vader crossed paths prior to now. So how did that play out? But the thing that's killing me about this show is they're dragging it out to where it's like, so all of this happened and Vader didn't like ever stop to think what was so important about this little girl that Obi-Wan kept like chasing after this little kid, or had this little, like, that's the thing that's bothering me. Is it's like, okay, I can suspend my disbelief quite a bit with Star Wars because it's Star Wars, but where I can't suspend my disbelief is when there are things that have already been established in the canon, and now you're stretching those things to try to fit around a show that you thought would be dope to do now. That's the issue I have. And that's why, like, the show for me, while there are some epic moments, like the episode where Vader drugged Kenobi through the fire, like, that was incredible stuff. Watching Vader like stalking down Reva, dude, like, they've handled Vader perfectly in this show. Like, that's the one thing they haven't gotten wrong, is how is the treatment of Vader and the use of Vader in the show. But what's disconnecting me from it, or what's starting to make me feel like the show was not necessary, is because now you're doing, like, there's all of these other things that are starting to happen. That's like, you do realize that at the end of this, you've got to get to a point where Obi-Wan is Ben Kenobi, like the old hermit on Tatooine, and has safely been like stashed away. So what's gonna happen that's gonna take Vader and the Empire's attention away from him? Like, we know there's stuff that happens with Rebels and all of that, and that they dealing with that situation. But I just find it hard to believe that Vader would just like totally pivot from even like pursuing that thread, even if, unless somehow he tricks Obi-Wan, or Obi-Wan tricks him into thinking that he's dead. But even if that's the case, then again, that ruins episode 4, because it's like, wait a minute, he never said that he thought Obi-Wan was dead in the other movie. So like, where's the continuity? So that's my thing. I mean, and I see Felicity says, my overall point is that whatever critiques that anyone has had need to be put out there to Lucasfilm. They need to know now that what they aren't doing isn't good, so they can move to fix it. That's it. And my response to that is, Lucasfilm don't give two shits about your comment. What they care about is, are you watching? Are we getting subscribers? Is the show continuing to keep people watching? If people are watching, and if the numbers are what they are, regardless of whether they're inflated or not, if the numbers are good enough for Disney to say, okay, we're going to greenlight season 2, then clearly the show is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be from a financial standpoint. Now, you can talk about quality and like what, Disney decides to be, relevant in terms of, okay, this is a good enough standard for us to keep going. That's totally fine. But my point has always been, at the end of the day, if we're continuing to give Disney and Lucasfilm our money, then we hustling backwards if we expect them to change any damn thing. Because they're going to keep putting the same stuff out, because whether it's great press or not so great press, it's still press. They still getting attention. They still triggering people to the point where you got to think about it. There are people that are so triggered by Star Wars content that they get up and do a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly stream talking about how much they hate it, and then go into an analysis of it. How is that not money for Disney? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's really that dope, if it's really that whack, then what we should really do, if we really want to affect change, is stop giving it any support. Stop showing up for Star Wars Celebration. Stop going on Disney Plus and watching Star Wars. Not go see the movie. Bootleg the movie when it come out if you want to watch it. But that's the way, because until you start affecting the numbers, it ain't gonna change. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna change. And so for me, I continue to pay for it, because to me, while there's things that can be improved, I still feel like we are far cry away from The Last Jedi. And if you finna try to tell me that Kenobi is Last Jedi bad, no se puede. No, you can't. No, it's not going down. I'm not here for that. You're not finna sell me on that. Last Jedi was hot garbage water, chilled and put on ice, and then melted in the sun. No. I'm just saying, man. It's like at the end of the day, I don't scratch my head unless it itches, and I don't dance unless I hear music. So Disney ain't finna have me dancing if Star Wars ain't giving me a little bit of the bop, man. I'm not doing it. I'm just not wasting. It's just like Ms. Marvel. I'm not watching Ms. Marvel, not because I think it's trash and I like, oh, it's not for me and it's garbage. And no, it's just, I know that show is not made for my taste. So I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it do what it do. Like, more power to everybody watching it, but I've got better things to do with my time than to watch something that I know is gonna like not meet my expectations for entertainment. That's just not how I like to spend my time. I will get off my soapbox now.
I said, well said.
Because I have triggered enough. And I like triggering. It's been a while.
Right. I'm about to say it's been a minute.
It's been a minute since I got worked up. Mama good, if I let any slip, I'm sorry. I was trying my best. At the end of the day, like what you like, love what you love. I'm not here to tell you. Just miss me. Miss me. Who's this? Chris Huncho.
Gotcha.
Oh boy, yeah. Know your boy was multilingual like that. Hablo muy poquito español, pero no entiendo mucho. Don't know a lot, but I can speak enough. Right. I can rent you a car in Spanish, boy, in a minute. But yeah, man, I think I've been ranting enough, man. Once your boy starts speaking Spanish on the stream, that means it's time for us to like take this on into the Discord and get to turning up.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I got to brush back up on my sign language. So this way, when we start ranting, that's what I'm gonna start busting.
There
out.
we go. There we go.
That's that sign language.
Yeah, man.
That's the same thing.
She said she committed to T-Rev and she watched Ms. Marvel, so I have to keep. Hey, man, that's respect. If you said you'd watch it and you'd give it like, your attention, hey, I'm not mad at that. Do what you do. I ain't mad at it at all, man. She say, leave this man Star Wars alone. Nah, I'm here for the smoke, mama good. Like, this is what I want them to bring it. That's why I'm inviting the homie Kendall to come on next week, because I want him to come convince me that it's bad. Because I guarantee you, every critique that he have, I'm returning that volley right back at that man. Trust and believe. I'ma be ready. Master Kunch. I'ma be ready. Make no mistake, son. Make no mistake. Ooh, whoa. Dark Chaos. Hold on. Don't put me in the Blizzard category, fam.
Oh man.
Nah, fam. We ain't not this dude, not me. No. I try to approach it from woo. Hey, but look, that's all facts. That's all facts. Oh man. Oh, I thought she said Mount Sin. I'm like, damn, mama good. Like, right. Whoa, I'm about to go to church in the morning, right? I'm like, I'm a mountain of sin. Like, I know I ain't perfect, but I ain't think I had a mountain of it. I was all right. Nah, ain't no throwing down, man. We're gonna have a healthy little first take style debate, man. Me and Kendall gonna get on here, man. We're gonna talk about some Kenobi, man. He's gonna try to convince me that it's not a good show. And I'm gonna try to have him leave thinking that Kenobi is one of the best things he's ever seen.
Well, good luck.
Yes, exactly.
Because apparently it takes eggs to be a Star Wars fan. And I don't know how many eggs. Maybe a dozen.
See, but that's crazy because I don't eat eggs.
I don't eat eggs either.
Yeah, I don't mess with them. You can mix them in something, but like a cake or something like that. But like,
yeah.
I don't even like eggs in my tacos, man.
I mean, I can have them with like breakfast food. But
no, I don't even want eggs by itself. I don't want it with no breakfast food. I don't want nothing.
I like a little eggs. Yeah.
Chris Huncho says, "Al, Ms. Marvel slick though, big bro, 100. But if it ain't for you, man, I feel that. I'm just a Marvel head, so I'm gonna watch all of them regardless to stay all the way caught up. That's respect. I am not mad at that one bit. But that's why they got recap on YouTube, bro. Like, trust me, I'm gonna stay up on the story. But yeah, man, I just don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. He said he gonna hit you over the head with those Emmy with those Emmy facts. Okay, we gonna see. He said even Thor 2. Yeah, Thor 2 was trash, but like I've watched Thor 2 once. I haven't seen it I don't think I've seen it more than twice. I watch anything once. Like,
right.
I'll watch anything. Look, he said watching the ESPN. Yes, I am. I am there for the TLDR, bro. I'm like, I didn't watch the game. Just let me know who had the high score at the end and what the stats was looking like. I can make my own inferences from there, bro. No doubt. But what do you say, man? Like I said, you think we're ready to take this thing to the Discord?
Yeah, right after we talk about at least Shredder's Revenge, because we gotta get the people ready to know that we're gonna be up on that Twitch next week,
didn't even touch a subject. Well, we can't leave until we address that subject, man.
You already know.
Summer Game Fest.
Yes.
The only really game I gave a damn about was Shredder's Revenge.
Among them all,
man, yes. So they dropped the news, Shredder's Revenge, 6 players, co-op, local and online. So you know what the question is, man. What other 4 mains is gonna be with us when we start playing Turtles on the stream?
I don't know. We're gonna have to see about that.
We're gonna have to make that work, man. We're gonna have to make that work. But yeah, man, like I've been waiting for this game for so long, bro. Like I am a huge stan for anything Ninja Turtles. Now, this new Ninja Turtles-ish, like that Michael Bay stuff and them giant turtles and all that, nah, I ain't. The Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles, nah. Wasn't for me. But they taking this back to the days of like the 16-bit Turtles. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, sign me up. Definitely sign me up. And so yeah, we got a trailer. I think they were showcasing Casey Jones this week. So so far we've got all 4 Turtles. We got Splinter is playable. April O'Neil is playable. April O'Neil, Casey Jones.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's the only thing that I'm saying. The only thing that I'm feeling like, man, is, and this is obvious because they were both kind of games in the same vein, but it does look like it's a little bit Streets of Rage 4-ish. Like the gameplay is going to be a little bit different, but in terms of the style and the presentation, it seems very, very similar. So I'm hoping that what happened with me with Streets of Rage 4 doesn't happen with Turtles, because 4 was dope and I played it. I beat it once and like really didn't have any desire to go back and get like all the unlockables for it, just because it's cool when you playing it with somebody, but like that's not one of those games that I want to sit and grind solo. Ninja Turtles might be a little bit different because I love some Ninja Turtles. Like that's my childhood. So it might be dope from that. I'm really curious though to see kind of what all they pack in with this game in terms of extras, just to see what the replay value is gonna look like.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna have to like entice me to come back and play this again?
Right. Besides the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you dropping full price for this junk. Like if you dropping full price for a game that looked like it could have came out in 1993, like y'all better make sure it's packed with some stuff.
Right. I'm hoping it comes out at least around like a $30.
Yeah, hopefully,
$30
man.
range.
Like I could do that. I could do 30. I could probably do 40. But if you hit me with $59.99, then you better have 2 games in that junk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
something.
Serious.
Something. Or I bet that better be the price for that and the season pass.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna drop more stuff. We better get that for free. But or at least for what we paid for. But we gonna see. We totally gonna see. But I know I'm gonna be playing it. It comes out Thursday this coming week.
Yes.
And
we gonna have to make sure we got that and stream that on drop.
Right. Yeah,
Now,
that might be what we twitched that night.
No doubt. I like that. Now, something else they mentioned, or they gave us a hands-on preview for, was Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Nope.
Midnight Suns.
I'm gonna slide that over there in that same pile with Miss Marvel. Miss me with it. I'm not into them turn-based. I don't have that kind of patience anymore.
Yeah.
I don't get down like that. That it looks dope. It looks cool.
Right.
But
it has some cool elements.
Yeah, that's not for me.
Right, but I don't want to be rushing through the fight part of it just so I can get back to the story building and the ability to become best friends with certain characters, so I can do that the first playthrough, to skip through all the fights as I can so I can go back and try to make friends with other characters the second playthrough. It's just, it really won't pull me. It won't pull me through. And I feel like this is probably a game, like I was saying, like if I was to play it, it would have to come out for like a discount on the PlayStation Plus, or for the game of the year, the game of the month, for free or something like that. And then maybe I'd download it, let it sit for a second or two, and then I'd play it. But yeah, man, that TMNT is gonna get my money way before Midnight Suns does. But I won't lie, that preview they did for Nightwing kind of made me want to play it. Not gonna lie.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Well, they showed pretty much the different skins and stuff that you could get, and then they tied that in dynamically with different fight scenes and stuff like that. So you could kind of see his different powers, or the different moves that he can do, and the different skins that you could put on there. And I think that it was, I thought they did that pretty well for at least the lead character, which you would assume to be Nightwing. But the fact that they keep leaning on showing Nightwing and people like Red Hood, I really hope it's one of them situations in which they're doing it because they want to keep some of the better things under wraps. And because Nightwing and Red Hood, well, at least Nightwing was more of a prevalent character through the Arkham Knight series. And you get to use Robin before and that too. I'm kind of hoping that, like I said, like maybe those characters have other features to them that they think are like really special, so therefore they want to show more Nightwing. Red Hood, I'm not really a big fan of Red Hood in the games. I played the DLC they had for the Arkham Knight, and it doesn't really look like much different. Plus, with them saying that he's got some kind of magical aura that helps him be able to jump through town and all that types of stuff, it's like, I guess you could have just given him a grappling hook effect, or make it where like his jacket did something to help him glide or something. You'd have to make him like magical because he came back out of the Lazarus pit or whatever. But yeah, I mean, then you got Batgirl with her motorcycle and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that there's some other features in there that are just holding back. But I will admit, I kind of held out this kind of hope when it came to Avengers.
You said it, not me, bro. You said it, not me.
I don't know. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna treat it like I did God of War.
Okay.
When the new God of War came out, I didn't go out and buy it right away. I watched at least 2 or 3 different playthroughs that they had on YouTube before I was like, hey, this game looks really super fun and I can play it better than this dude is playing it. I'm gonna go out and buy it. So unless I get that same kind of feeling when I'm watching whatever other playthroughs of the game, it may sit on the shelf or in that Play Store until I feel like I'm ready to to play that game.
Man, I feel you on that, man. That's what's up, man. What everything else that they announced, man, like I'm gotta be honest, I really ain't like Saints Row. I could care less about. Don't know nothing about Neon White. Don't know nothing about this Super People. Layers of Fears. That's Fort Solis, Stormgate, the Callisto Protocol. Nah. Aliens. We still doing that? No, that's a negative.
I've seen some Aliens, and it looks like they're doing the overhead view this time.
Yeah.
Third person overhead view. You get to pick like a little team of people that go against the aliens and stuff like that, which that might be more fun than some of the other suspense-filled games they had with the aliens. The last game I played, the aliens, like you got to sneak around and try to gather some stuff and figure out what happened. It's supposed to be set during the time when the aliens first took over the spacecraft that Ripley goes on.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the beginning of all that. I think Ripley might even be somewhere on this ship, and you like kind of run into her later or something like that. But or at the end, you kind of see like where that goes. But I wasn't really into it because there's no real confrontation that you can survive through. Like you gotta kind of like, if you run into an alien, you gotta kind of be able to thwart it more than you can be able to defeat it.
Got you.
So I just really wasn't into all the running and sneaking around and all that types of stuff. So this one to be a little better, where it's actually more gameplay that's not based on whether your heart's gonna pop out your chest because you know this alien's chasing after your ass. You gotta avoid that because you don't want that to happen at all. But yeah, it's pretty much most of the games that were announced I wasn't too partial to.
Nah,
I'm still waiting for the ones that we're anticipating. I want to know more about that Wonder Woman game. I want to know more about Wolverine, the Spider-Man 2, all that type of stuff. That's what I'm waiting for. But at least there's going to be something to do in between for some people.
Definitely we are. I think we can say that the game drought is behind us. We've got stuff on the way, whether it's stuff that's in your lane or not. Hey, you know, it is what it is. But look at it this way, folks. 2K come out every year.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
It's for you. There'll be more rants coming on 2K soon.
Oh man, look,
sure.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be some serious 2K rants for 23. I can already feel it in my bones, man.
Yeah,
I already know. You know what? And I might even come out. I'm gonna be honest with some people. I'm gonna keep it a buck. A lot of people, I get hit up and it's like, why don't you stream some 2K? Why don't you join Hoop? I think Green Bear for the longest was trying to get me. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm not that good at 2K either. Look, you can tell by my frame. I didn't play basketball growing up. Not organized ball. Now I love basketball. I understand basketball. I follow basketball, but this ain't really, you know, I wasn't trying to be out there on some Glenn Big Baby Davis. You know, I wasn't trying to do that. That just wasn't my speed, man. So I plays basketball, but if like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think you finna see some high level basketball IQ from me, look, no, man, I'm out there with the rock doing what it do. I might be good for a couple of screens. I might be able to play some zone, but like, yeah, no, we ain't. It ain't. My basketball decision making skills might not be the best. I'll be the first to admit that. But that might be fun to stream, man, and just watch people. I think I might do that for 2K23. Is jump on and stream some 2K and let people see what it look like when Freddie Roy get on the court.
Right.
Might have to do that. Might have to do that.
Might have to.
Any last minute things we need to get into?
I saw somebody bring up The Boys. I think it was Felicity you asking about The Boys. I'm in The Boys, dude. Like, I'm totally paused. I'm into watching the show, and I don't really have any gripes for it, to be honest. They're finally going down a storyline that's interesting as far as what are they going to do about Homelander, who's definitely posing to be a problem this season. Down there, he's about to be the owner of Vought, and he's trying to, in his own twisted way, unite the mutants, pretty much what you want to call them. You know, they're all turning out to be mutated by, you know, a compound V. Yeah. But he's trying to find a way to unite his superpowered people, but in a very dark and twisted way, very convoluted way. And he may actually live to regret it by this last episode. It totally could be some kind of repercussions when it comes to the people. But at the same time, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with Soulja Boy now that they finally found him. And he seems like he's been tweaked and doesn't have the same powers after the Russians got their hands on him. So I'm liking the story so far. I don't really have anything that's making me like okay, so even perfect example, like this is a show that, although it is very heavily saturated with fantasy and mysticism in it, I've not seen anything in it that's not practical. They're definitely leaning on the fact that Homelander has power. He's a very fearful person. and there could be some kind of supremacy in the background that's behind all of his actions now that he's starting to come out to it.
Okay.
And the last season, Stormbreaker, his little girlfriend, I guess you could call it, was kind of trying to pull that stuff out. But now he's the type of person that's like, you give him an idea, and like a few months later, he's like, "Oh, I got the best idea ever," and it's the same idea you gave him. And he's kind of like that dude.
I know somebody like that. Now that might get me to start watching it, man. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm 2 seasons behind. I haven't stopped. I stopped after season 1.
I said Stormbreaker. My bad.
Yeah, but now that you, man, I don't know. I might have to check it out because I can relate to that. I know a few people that like you give them an idea and they're crap all over it, and then a week later they'd be like, "I got the best idea ever, and we're gonna be rich."
Oh yeah. Sounds familiar.
Don't it though?
Now that you put it that way. Yeah.
I was wondering if you caught that.
Yeah. No, definitely. But yeah, it's kind of like that. But you'd have to watch the second season with him and Stormfront to kind of see where that comes from in this one, because well, not really. They kind of barely touch on it.
Yeah.
In the second episode, I think.
Okay.
They kind of do, and you kind of get that idea later, when he finally decides to break and come out that way. But
oh man, look, they getting you though. They saying, "Hey man, spoiler warning. You spilling the tea. People ain't seen the last episode."
Well, then get on it. It's been a week.
Hey man, look, I ain't seen. You see, I stayed quiet. I ain't seen.
Even though it's only been one day, it's been a week.
I ain't seen nothing but season 1, so it's all spoilers to me. But it's all good.
Right, but yeah, good. I mean, I'm not even, like I said, like the people are starting to give more spoilers.
Right,
than
I'm like, bro, now you look. That's gonna make me not want to watch it.
Right, but no, there's some elements in it.
In
that
the
are pretty
penis
good.
Or in the show?
The what?
You said there's some elements in it. I'm like, are we talking about the show again?
Yes.
Okay.
I've always been talking about the show.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm not even talking about whatever you apparently pulling out Darth Chaoses.
I just wanted to make sure we was on the same page. I was confused.
I always talk about the show.
Bet that. All right. I'm glad we got that precedent established.
There are elements in the show that are interesting for this season, that are unique to this season, and it seems like they're starting to deteriorate it to be able to pivot for some of the future things that they're talking about they want to do with the show anyway.
Yeah.
As far as like they're going to have like a superhero college and all that types of stuff. But the only way you can do that is if you tear down a lot of the things that they put in the past few seasons in order for them to keep this story kind of going in a linear fashion. Gotcha. That's kind of one thing that I've liked about it. Like, they've always introduced different characters from this world, but it's still done within the same storyline. Like, the storyline has always been, you've seen Homelander was a problem as far as if he ever decided to try to do certain things, they really don't have no real way to stop him.
Gotcha.
So you kind of see that, like, Homelander goes through a corporate phase, then he goes to where he's starting to realize even the people in the corporate are kind of like in ways controlling and against him. And when he meets Stormfront, she kind of makes that more prevalent to where it was kind of a control thing, but now that without her and her feeling certain things for him that he kind of needed to stay in control in real life, he doesn't have anymore. So now you have this third season that's now addressing what the repercussions of that is. So
yeah,
it's interesting, even with the new characters that they've brought in too. So
it's not a thing where I'm like, oh, I didn't like the first season or it wasn't good enough for me to watch the second. It fell off my radar and I just never got back up on it. I still have every intention of catching up at some point, but man, like, all BS aside, man, peek behind the curtain. It's just so much going on last year and a half. It's hard for me to even figure out when to squeeze in time for everything I want to watch.
Right.
Like, I got to give. I think we'll take it home on this. I think that's why I get so sensitive about my Star Wars is because I meticulously curate my list for entertainment. So if I'm watching something, if I'm actually giving a show or a series or a movie some time, it's because I am strategically selecting that to watch for an entertainment relaxation or for the people. Because I got to stay up on certain things in order for us to get on here and know what the hell we talking about. Now, that being the case, when you are that meticulous about what you watch, you are vigorous in your defense of those things because, again, you aren't trying. I'm not trying to tell somebody else that what I like to watch is better than what they like to watch. I just don't like anybody trying to make me feel some type of way for watching what I like to watch. So that's why I get so like. That's why the triggeration be real sometimes.
Triggeration,
like, man. You know what it takes. You know what kind of sacrifices I have to make in order to get my entertainment list right, and you gonna come attack me and what I like, mother. I don't play that. You know how hard I work. You know what kind of craziness I deal with? Words of Beyonce.
Oh, guys, going full Green Goblin over there.
Everything that I've done, what I do for you people.
You know how much I've sacrificed?
I've sacrificed. You know, I'm talking Beyonce PowerPoint slides. You'll never understand how deep it is out here in these streets. The Maynes is here and it's real.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude.
Oh my God. But on that note,
I'm about to say, get me out of here before we start talking Titans, because I see them starting to try to bring it up.
Oh, Lord, we'll be here for another 45 seconds, because you know you ain't going to talk that all night.
Shit.
See,
look at you.
I got it. Like we always say, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here,
man.
For your boy Lavish Blackman. I am your boy Freddie Roy.
Let's go.
And we are the Mayne Authority, and we will catch you
Y'all sure y'all don't want to like
in the next episode. And it's gonna screw up because I forgot to get the outro queued up. So now the song is playing and we still on screen because I wasn't ready. And it don't matter. So guess what I'm gonna do? Because I'm like that.
Let's go.
We just gonna start it again and tell you one more time.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like
that we out this.
Forever, ever.
We coming for you.
I am a god.
Hulk Hogan.
What's wrong with you, man? I will fight him.
The Force will be with you always.
Let's go.
Almost.
Forever, forever, ever.